and welcome to the Audiophile Barista's weekly vlog number 84, where I talk about audio, coffee and other things that keep me busy. As you can see, it's still a little bit of a mess over here because I'm still doing the spring cleaning of all the equipment and I am still filming a lot, so that's why it is a mess. But now first, let's put on some music. As you can see, the volume knob is very slow, and now we are at 0. At the beginning I thought, well, why is that? It takes much too long. But after a week I started to much more appreciate it, because a lot of the equipment that I have here, especially when you are using a remote control, the steps are often just too big. Maybe you recognize that you have a volume you want it a little bit louder, but then it goes too loud on the next stop already. And this one will give you just the exact amount of volume that you want. The only thing is that it'll take a while. So at 35, there's a little bit of music coming through the loudspeakers. Anyways, let's put this up. What I've been listening to is this one, Orgelvreten. This is a Dutch band, which the name of the band is Orgelvreten. And these are the Merciless Hammond Battle. And this is something that I have seen live when it came out. And it is two guys having two Hammond organs and battling it out, trying to outdo one another like a game. And this was a joy to be there. Now, this is not the very best recording. It is a live recording, as you can see over here, recorded live, and I was there. So here you see the autographs of all 4 band members. Now, the reason I was going through my records, because having this on loan for now, the Advanced Acoustic or Advanced Paris set, and it has a phono input, as you can see, so I plugged in my record player. Also because I still needed to check if the phono section of my Eidos preamp was broken, or was it the record player that didn't put out a signal. But obviously the record player is putting out a signal. So this is working, and I wanted to try it out with this setup. So I've been playing with this setup for a week now, and as you can see at this moment I am having the PS Audio power plant regenerator for clean power. This is since yesterday. I have been playing with just the normal socket from the wall, even though that is a dedicated power line, without any filtration from this block, and the power amp is still connected to this block without filtering, and the rest is connected to the power regenerator, as you can see over there. Now I have to say, after playing for a week, a little bit less, without any power filtering, I'm very pleased with the sound of this preamp power amp combination, but it did stay a little bit flat, a little bit lifeless. And when I put in the power plant, I put in both the power amp and the preamp into the regenerator, and somehow it felt like the power amp became a little bit slow, a little bit sluggish. So I removed it from the regenerator and put it back into a normal, you can see in the back there, into a normal unfiltered outlet. So now the preamp is filtered, and the streamer that is over here, can you see that? This thing right there? I don't believe you can. But the streamer, also from Advanced Acoustic, is also plugged into the regenerator. And at this moment I'm having the Lin loudspeakers playing on them. And I've tried some different kind of loudspeakers on it. There's going to be a review where I will tell you everything, but the part where the power amp definitely does not want to be in a regenerator was something that I wanted to mention to you. I'm happy to play some vinyl again. It has been a long time, and everything still works. I love this little player. I think it looks beautiful. And down here, this white snake that you see here going to the rear, and over there also, is something that I acquired this week. This came in yesterday, and it is a loudspeaker cable. Obviously I terminated it on this side with some Oyaide banana plugs. This is also an Oyaide loudspeaker cable. You know that a lot of the power cords that I use are also from Oyaide, and at the moment I'm not having connected the digital cable that I have from Oyaide, and I have an analog interlink also from Oyaide. I ran into this loudspeaker cable for, let's say, very cheap. So I'm trying it out. First thing to notice is that this is a beast, and this curl, before you say, well, you shouldn't do it like that, this thing it's like steel cable. I have to find a way to straighten it, because this is what it will do. If I lay it down flat, it will curl back right away. So that's something that I have to do, but I'm just playing them for a few days to get a good feeling of it. Another thing I want to, over here, because I am filming this week, I'm filming a lot of stuff in order to try and make a lot of videos that I can put out for the next months. And one of the movies I'm making is about the subwoofers that I have. So I have the Quake that is used downstairs in the smaller room for the surround sound set. I have this big one, the Stadium 2, that I'm using upstairs here in the system, but mostly when I play movies. And one more that I have is this one, that is also a Rel, and I'm using this one up here in the big system, mainly when playing music. And sometimes I am playing movies with both of them connected, and that's really a treat, I can tell you. So because of all this filming that I'm doing and making a lot of photographs of all the equipment and some B-roll just to try and get a little bit more professional look into my videos, I am very much busy with that, not having too much time to edit at the moment. So that's going to happen next week or the week after that. Another thing is that I got a little bit lazy in answering your comments, but I'll pick up on that. So if you have commented and I did not answer you yet, don't worry. I know you wrote something, and I will react to you guys. So the last thing that I want to say, I was looking at, let me see, over here. This is the Audiophile discussion forum. Maybe you have heard of it. It's quite nice to get onto this forum. A lot of interesting questions, a lot of people with a lot of knowledge on there, even though most of the topics are getting toxic with bad comments pretty quick, a lot of them. But this morning I read one topic about a guy asking if I would upgrade, what would be the first thing to upgrade? What would you guys advise me? Which is a very interesting question. Funny thing was that some people said, well, first the acoustics of the room, loudspeaker placement, then equipment, and then power. And somebody else would say the exact opposite. And I thought, yeah, well, there's something to say for all those kinds of lists. But what is my take on that? Well, a lot of the people on this forum said the acoustics of the room, and I think that maybe not the first thing to do, but I still believe that 50% of what you hear when sitting in your favorite listening position, 50% of what you hear is the acoustics of the room. So maybe before you go to a new piece of equipment, you should have a look at what is my room doing and have I optimized that one. Now my aim in upgrading the system is that the source is the most important, and after that the loudspeakers. Now since I'm doing this channel, I found out with all the different equipment and all the different loudspeakers that I'm using, the difference in sound is probably fastest achieved with a loudspeaker. This will make the most impact on the difference of the sound. If I'm looking at quality of sound, I only can say the better your source is, the better the end result can be. If you have nothing that puts out good music at the beginning of the chain, then the rest can only make it worse or keep it at that level, which is not what you want. So if I'm thinking about that, it is the room acoustics. I still say change your source as the first thing. And if you want a quick change, start with the loudspeakers. So let me know, what would you do here's my question. What would be your 2 most important things to change if you would have to advise somebody else who wants to get better sound in his house? So over here you see all the different equipment that I'm playing with. And these weeks are very nice because I get to play my hobby full on. This is how I would like to be. I would like my hobby to be, to always have all this equipment over here and being able to switch things and play with it. One of the things that I'm really going to miss when everything is put back is to have a system that you can just walk around, go behind and change all the cables and whatever it is that you want to change. That's probably what I'm going to miss the most when the rack is being placed back at its original position. Because having a rack like this, where you are able to just go around it and change a cable, also a lot of the controls for the power amp are at the rear. You can change the brightness of the VU meters, you can change from class A to class AB, but everything is on the rear of this. So you can change between balanced and unbalanced cable, but all these switches are at the rear. So having a possibility to go there just like that is something that I'm really going to miss later on. Okay, so that's all for today. I hope you guys are all healthy, have a nice weekend, and I'll see you next week.